Good evening and welcome to tonight's presentation. For recording purposes, I'd like to state that it is Wednesday evening, January 21st. Earnings season has just kicked off and it is going to really go into uh, full steam ahead mode in the next couple of days here. So hopefully it will provide some support for the market. The intent for the presentation is to showcase the platform, showcase the system, and to show you how easy it is to find excellent trading opportunities. Throughout the course of the presentation, I will be highlighting at least 5 trades. So get your pen ready. These trades have a very high probability of success. And for anyone watching this recording, I urge you to go back and take a look at how these trades have done since the recording. I do like to start out with market analysis. I'm going to try and keep this pretty brief because I've got a lot of information to cover. This is the SPY, and I'm going to put up our trading system so you can see the different signals. This was a beautiful short that we caught, and you can see that the markets had a very difficult time getting through this resistance level. It barely poked through and then the selling started. What concerns me on a longer term basis is that on these declines, we've seen heavy volume, and on the rallies, we've seen very, very light volume. You can see how it's falling off. Decline, extremely heavy volume. Rally, light volume. Decline, heavy volume. That tells me that there is profit taking out there. And I don't believe that any asset manager right now thinks that they're going to miss the next big move to the upside. Now, we had this pretty deep decline here that touched the 100-day moving average. We rallied back and we touched it again very, very quickly. This is not a good sign because normally a lot of time has elapsed between these tests of the 100-day moving average. It could be signaling us that the market's getting tired. So we test it here, and then barely a week elapses and we're back through it again. For right now, we've been able to poke back above it, and I'm seeing that no one can see the chart right now. So thank you for letting me know that. And can anyone see the chart at this time? Okay, my apologies. My apologies for the early technical glitch. In any case, you can see how this 100-day moving average has been tested with greater frequency. This is not a good sign. It's a sign that the market's getting tired and the selling pressure is building. Now, earnings season has a tendency to attract buyers. There's nothing like profits to get investors excited. I believe that we are going to see a nice little bounce in here. So support has been established. This horizontal support line at 198 roughly has been able to hold, and we're back above the 100-day moving average. I'm going to be leaning on this 100-day moving average. If the market falls below it, I'm going to close out my long positions, and I'll just wait to see what happens from that point on. Tomorrow we have a very important ECB decision that's going to be announced. The market's looking for 700 billion euros in stimulus. Mario Draghi has provided lip service for 2 years and he's disappointed the whole way. If he does not follow through, it could get very ugly for European stocks. Their economies are struggling, and the problem is that this is a sugar high. Even if the ECB comes out with this stimulus, I don't see it lasting, the euphoria lasting more than a month or so. So that's a negative. And on Friday, I believe there's another potential speed bump, and that is the flash PMIs. All eyes have been on China. Their market was down 7.7% on Monday when we were closed. That was a reaction to GDP, industrial production, and retail sales. In particular, GDP, it came in line, but it has been drifting lower. And 7.3% growth is going to be very hard for them to maintain. So if we see any kind of weakness in China's PMI on Friday, boy, we have to really watch out for this 100-day moving average. So I believe we're going to get a bounce. I'm not going to be aggressively buying calls. In fact, what I'll be doing mostly is selling out of the money put credit spreads. That is a neutral strategy to slightly bullish strategy, and I'll be looking for those types of trades tonight. They allow me to distance myself from the action. They allow me to take advantage of inflated implied volatilities. And if I bring up the VIX, we can see that option implied volatilities have been on the rise. Big spike there on that decline, big spike here, and you'll notice that the implied volatilities are still relatively high, even though the support level right here has been holding. So that means that uncertainty is creeping into the market. If you take a look at diamonds, DIA, QQQ, SPY, you'll notice that we've got this little inverted cup and handle formation, and this is our support line right in there. So for QQQ, it's 100. That also is below this 100-day moving average. We need to bounce. If we do not bounce here, we'll make another lower high and we'll be breaking through that horizontal support level. So this is very, very critical. I personally think you've got the strongest companies announcing early in the earnings cycle. I think we're going to get a bounce. We'll probably rally maybe up to this on the QQQs, maybe up to the 105 level or so. And then we'll see what happens after that. We've got Greece also holding elections. A lot of cross currents right now, and I believe that most traders are sensing that all the stimulus in the world, from Japan to Europe, it hasn't amounted to anything. We're not seeing the economic growth that we should be seeing. So I'm very cautious in here. This is not a good start to the year. Had that big sell-off, which, by the way, we were through that 200-day moving average for the first time right here in October in 2 years. So that's not a particularly good sign. I'm going to zoom out very quickly. Oftentimes it helps to take a longer term perspective of what's going on, and you can see the huge climb that we've had and a little bit of a pullback here for the QQQ. That horizontal support level needs to hold, or that would be a failed breakout. Anybody that got long here would be getting flushed out below that 100 level, and you'll often see a pretty nasty backside to that move. SPY, not quite as dramatic as QQQ, but you can see that was a nasty little sell-off that we had, and we're having difficulty getting through this resistance level. So bottom line, short term, I think we get the bounce. I think selling put credit spreads is going to be good. I think you can buy some calls on stocks that have announced good earnings and are breaking out, but I would keep my size relatively small. I'd keep my distance as well, and especially for the SPY, be mindful of that 100-day moving average. If we breach it, I'm going to be selling S&P futures in here on an intraday basis to hedge my put spreads. So it'll be a very, very hedged position, just trying to take advantage of time decay right now. Once the earnings come out, we see the reaction. Hey, we've got lots of information. We see the flash PMIs come out. China's okay. That's good. ECB does what they're supposed to. Then it's smooth sailing ahead next week. But we've got those couple events to really watch out for. So I do want to tell you about a special offer that I'm running, because this is my deal of the year. It doesn't get any better than this. It is my annual subscription to 3,000 symbols. This is normally $3,500 per year. It's been reduced by $900, and this special offer is going to end this Sunday. So I hope you take advantage of it. Everything that you see tonight is included in this package. So it includes the platform, it includes the scanner, it includes access to every single symbol in our database. So you'll be able to pick and choose and create your own lists. Auto trading. I also send out a weekly video only to these subscribers, and it has actual trades that I'm doing. And those trades have had a very high success rate. In fact, I'd argue that if you just did those trades over the course of the last month and you were trading 5 lots, you probably would have this already covered. So I hope you consider it. Again, you won't see this price throughout the course of 2015. I mean, this is the lowest price of the year. It's about a 60% discount versus the monthly rate. And for those of you who might have the platform and a couple of the stock symbol groups, this is almost equal to that. I mean, it's such a good deal when you see everything else that you'll be able to do. So I'm going to focus on the platform. I am using the end of day version tonight. It's just a little bit easier with the recording software. Not having this interface to real-time quotes from Interactive Brokers seems to speed my computer up. So know that you can pull up intraday charts on the real-time version using that Interactive Brokers interface. So let's go in and take a look at some stocks and see if we can find some trades. I'm not going to go through all the different features, but I will tell you that this platform has pretty much everything you could possibly want. And I'm going to click on Disney just to show you. We're coming into earnings season right now, and it's really nice to see what the trend has been for the company. Earnings percent share change sequentially. Consensus estimate changes. You can see where the estimate is for this quarter. The beat and miss history, how the stock has performed the week before, the week after. This is really nice for day traders because once the company announces, you can go in and take a look at historically what the stock has done the day after announcing earnings. And when I say the day after, this is the first trading period following that announcement. So if stocks that announced today after the close, we would be gauging what they would have done tomorrow throughout the day. And stocks that announced before the open tomorrow, we're gauging what they would have done that day. So this is the last 4 quarters. Very, very useful tool, especially if you're a short-term trader. What the growth has been year over year, analyst rating changes, the stock expert rating. You can see who they are, what they do, what sector they belong to, what that sector has done performance-wise, their revenue growth. These are the technicals that I use for the rating. You can see where the strength or weakness is coming from. Same for the fundamentals, key metrics. And then you can also click to see the earnings release, the most recent earnings release, what the CEO has to say. Very, very useful tool. Market view. This alone is worth the platform subscription. These are my comments. I tell you every day what my suggested strategy is, what my one-day forecast is, my one-week forecast. I'm trying to paint a picture for you over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. If I'm not certain, I'm going to tell you this is a time to really keep your size small. Low probability trading environment. When I see a really nice setup, I'm going to tell you this is a time to step up and be aggressive. We've been able to catch those sell-offs at the 100-day moving average and a lot of those bounces and rebounds last year. It's a fantastic year. So these are posted before the market opens every day. You'll also see these update. This is in a real-time version. These are based off of the ETFs. It'll give you a good approximation of where the market is. And same for the overseas markets are based off of ETFs as well. This is a real nice feature to use during earnings season. You can see Q4 here. Now, number one, you can go in and check daily, weekly, monthly price action for the different sectors, and then you can drill down to the different groups here, and then it'll populate here. You can click on it and view the chart. But this is a completely different column. This Q4 zeroes out every earnings season, and so we've just started right now. But let's say that I want to go in and take a look at, I don't know, maybe we'll go into the services industry, and we'll sort to see which have performed best. I'm just going to take a look at some of the different groups and see if anything strikes a chord. So what this measures is the performance the day after the earnings announcement. We'll go into business services. How about major airlines? Up 7.3%. So any stock that's announced in this particular group, we take that percentage gain the day after the announcement. The idea is I want to be able to come in and see which group has performed really well after earnings announcements or really poorly if I'm looking for shorting opportunities. And once I do that and I click on that major airlines, I can see, oh, there's Delta Airlines reported and they jumped 7% after the announcement. Well, guess what? United Airlines is on deck tomorrow. Might be a good stock to take a look at. So I'm going to go to the chart, and then we'll be able to take a look at each one of these two stocks. And then there's also a regional airline group. You could also be checking those airlines as well. So we'll go in, we'll take a look at Delta. There you can see B means they announced before the open. Okay, huge run up in the stock, and it looks like it wants to push higher. United Airlines tomorrow. Really nice breakout right there. So it could continue to push higher after the number. Could be a nice post earnings play. I don't really like to trade before earnings announcements unless I'm selling premium, but I just feel like it's a losing proposition. These options are juiced and ready to go, but after the number, absolutely. You can see what the reaction is, and then there are oftentimes a lot of opportunities. So that's another part of the market view, and then you have your earnings calendar. I'm going to go into Max Pain very quickly. This shows you the distribution for the options, and Max Pain assumes that if all options expired worthless, where would option buyers of puts and calls take the most pain? And in this case, it's at the $60 level. You can see what the open interest has been in the calls or puts. Look at that spike on the 67.50 calls. Woo! Somebody's getting long United. We'll see what we've got on the put side. Only 300 contracts versus 14,000 on the call side. So there are definitely some bullish bets out there. Option pricing. We can go in, take a look at any of the options that we might want. And once you click on them, you'll see where the at the money options are. And you can click on it, and then you can see the option implied volatility versus the stock volatility. And then finally, option statistics. This is where I get my liquidity rating. If it's got weekly options, penny-wide markets, tight bid-ask spread, big open interest, big average volume, it's going to get a good liquidity rating. And then you can go in and also see the changes in option implied volatility, open interest, put call ratio, so forth and so on. And there's your put call ratio, 13,000 calls traded versus 2,000 puts. So pretty bullish speculation going on in the underlying stock. So all of this is included, tons of technicals, every technical study you could possibly want is included in the platform as well. So let's go into the scanner and let's take a look at the movers. And this is a generic, relatively generic search, prior day gainers, prior high closer. I don't want to breeze through this and discount it because these are very, very powerful. Pre-open gainers. This is This is why I started developing my scanner 12 years ago. I needed to know what was moving before the open, and I could not find a good source of information. This starts updating an hour before the open. You can see exactly where the action is. You can start preparing your trading day. We're going to take a look at 5-day high. Now, for 3,000 symbol subscribers, this 5-day high is also going to include this little checkbox. And this means that it has to be making a 5-day high and it needs to be on a buy signal. Now that buy signal could have happened a day ago, a week ago, could have happened today. Doesn't matter. As long as it's on a buy signal, it'll show up. And so we're just going to go through and see. And so this is what day traders would use. They'd come in, they'd see, oh my gosh, here's a good stock. It's on a buy signal. I personally wouldn't be getting long until it gets to that level right there. But that breakout through the 100-day moving average is pretty nice too. So you had a little bit of money you could have made there. This is nice if it can get through this level. So here's a trade that you'll probably want to write down. If you're a stock trader, not great option liquidity. So I can't say that this would be a great option trade, but you've got potential breakout through 154 right here, let's say. Make sure that it's above that point. When it is, you've got your buy signal, you have your horizontal breakout, a little bit of a cup and handle here. It's going to want to try and fill in that gap right there. This is an energy stock, so it's been beaten down badly. Going to keep looking. That's a nice buy signal. No liquidity. Humana. I do like this. Great breakout right there. If I were day trading, I'd be all over that on the breakout. So I come in during the day. I see the stock moving higher. Once it gets through that level, I'm all over it right there. I mean, I hate to say it, it's just really pretty easy picking. There's your breakout. You got the buy signal. There's your stop. You're in. Stock keeps going. As long as it keeps moving higher, you're in the trade. UNH. Earnings after the close today. There was a nice buy signal right there. Could have been decent long. I'm just going to keep clicking down because now I'm going to be looking for, see now this is China Mobile, too choppy. I mean, I can't trade this. Great breakout, really nice follow through right there, good volume. But for a longer term position, that's just all over the board. This is nice. Decent option liquidity. So let's mark this as our first trade. I'm not sure when they announce earnings, so that is something that you're going to be mindful of. I can probably get an approximation. They announced on November 5th, which would probably put them somewhere around February 5th. So we've got a couple of weeks to take advantage of this, but you do want to be out before earnings. There's a nice horizontal breakout. There's an excellent buy signal. The system's done really well on this stock, up 122% versus minus 61. That's a good trade. So we can see right here that we've got that breakout at about $40. So we want that breakout to be preserved. We're going to look at the 40-35 put spread. So we're going to go in, use our option pricing. We're going to go out to February, and we're going to take a look at these options. 40-35, $2 bid. You could probably get 205. You could probably do that for 80 cents or so. You should be able to get $1.25 credit for this spread right here. $1.25 credit. If you do not know what a credit spread is, please learn the strategy. If you just knew how to buy options and when the time was right to sell, you play it safe and sell call credit spreads or put credit spreads. Those are really the only strategies you have to know, and I use them extensively. So that would be a nice put credit spread. You've got the $40 stop right in here, and you've got probably about, let's see, it closed at 41.60 or $1.50 out of the money. I believe this stock is going to continue to rebound, and you'll see that option implied volatility collapse. If you get a week or so into this trade and you can buy it back for 40 or 50 cents, do it. That's a fantastic return. Keep going down here. Beautiful breakout right there. Nice gap up. Could have been a good potential trade right there. AET, really nice breakout right here, and it just keeps moving higher all day. So you would have seen this early in the day, and you would have seen the stock opening here and gapping to a new relative high. It's on a buy signal. That's a pretty easy day trade. So I'm not going to talk too much about day trades anymore, but if you're a short-term day trader, there's so many stocks that come up, and I mean, I could go through this in 2 minutes and probably find 3 really good trades, and I do. So let's, for those of you, I know most of you might be swing traders, so you're looking for longer term positions. That's when I'm going to try and find some of those types of trades. So I'm just going to keep clicking down, and I'll keep an eye on this liquidity gauge right here. Too bad this isn't more liquid, because I do like this. I like the huge run up, and then the stock finds support above this horizontal level right here, which buyers stepped in, and now it's back off to the races. System's done very well on this stock, but not good option liquidity, so we got to keep going. And now I'm just scanning visually. This is, we haven't even gotten to any of the other searches yet. This is just off of the simple 5-day high search. So let's go in and take a look at some reversals. So a reversal would be a stock that's been in a short-term downtrend and is starting to reverse. And Google, they're going to announce earnings, I believe, next week. So got to stay away from this one. And there's Google. Sorry, I was still stuck on the other stock. So I wouldn't do Google. LYB. Do like this company. They're a chemicals company. I think we can find a better chart though. Devon, getting through this horizontal resistance level right there. That is really a decent looking stock. Liquidity of 2. We're going to find a lot of energy stocks. I think energy is getting ready for a little bit of a bounce. That would be your entry and your stop, and it recently flagged a buy signal. And the system has done pretty well, 19% versus 3%. Keep looking here. And these are stocks that are bouncing. I'm not seeing anything from a liquidity standpoint. If I clicked on all these, I'm sure I would find some great looking trades. Don't be afraid to trade stock. My gosh, I don't care if it's stock or option. Everybody wants to leverage their capital to high heck, and that's fine, but don't turn down a good trade just because the options aren't liquid. You do a couple hundred shares of a stock and it goes up $3, trust me, you're going to be very happy. You don't have to trade big size on these. CHL we looked at. That's a nice entry. Great breakout right there. If you come in today and you see this stock gapping here, you're on a buy signal yesterday and it's through that horizontal resistance. That's just an easy buy. Okay, loving this. SWKS, Skyworks. Not great liquidity, but I love everything else about it. You've got a strong uptrend. Stock holds up well while the market is selling off. Now that the market's starting to regain its footing, you have a gap through horizontal resistance. And thank you, Dave. Dave said that there's earnings tomorrow. So this could be an earnings play tomorrow. I don't care if it's down a little bit as long as it can hold that $75 breakout. If it can, then I'd be all over that. So potential earnings play. I know Alaska Air announces tomorrow. We've got United Airlines tomorrow. Uh, there you've got American, Southwest. So tomorrow you could potentially see these airline stocks breaking out. Delta announced, and they're going to save, I believe, $2 billion in gas prices alone this year. ARM Holdings. I do like this breakout right here. And there's another pretty easy day trade. You get the buy signal today and you're in early on. And this is an example of where that early pre-market signal is going to come in handy. So an hour, 2 hours before the open, you're looking at new stocks that are going to go on a buy signal. You come in, you take a look at that breakout and you go, yep, ARM Holdings, I'm all over it on the open. So it's going to be really, really, really good for day trading. And those of you who saw the signals before, I modified the system because on a longer term basis, our entry on the opening price was not optimal. And if you were actively trading and watching the market, you could have seen oftentimes that, hey, we got the signal right out of the gate, but this is not a good entry point. And so we decided to wait for an hour. But if you're day trading, you plan on being in and out the same day. Oh, yeah. You want to see how the stock opens. And if it opens higher, you're all over it. Just looking for another trade setup here. Cabela's, poor liquidity, otherwise interesting. Yahoo is back on a buy here. I'd like to see it closer in here. And I don't see anything that looks particularly good in here. Morris. Now there's one. Again, you get the breakout. Okay. You get the buy signal. Hello. I have been trading Alaska Air. That's why I knew it had earnings. That was a really nice trade for me. Very easy. Saw the breakout. I was all over it. Never got stopped out here. Was happy to take profits on that today. Gold just continuing to move higher, gapping higher. Broadcom, don't see anything there. So we'll keep looking, find one or two more trades here, and then we'll start taking your symbol requests. And I'm just going to scan down here, see if there's anything interesting. Didn't really see anything that jumps out from a liquidity standpoint. Boeing. Boeing looking pretty good in here as well. I know they're going to be coming up on earnings. I like that breakout right there. So if you're day trading and you come in tomorrow and you see Boeing trading higher, that would be a nice little day trade. Okay. Recent buy signal. So you can put that on your list, especially if you're a day trader. I'll keep coming down here. Just looking for anything else that might. UTX. The only issue I have with UTX is it just doesn't move very far, very fast. And we're probably coming up on earnings on this. October 21, it might be a day or so away from earnings announcement, but that is a really nice breakout, and that is a great day trade. Okay, got your breakout, you got your buy signal today. If you can trade 1,000 shares of a stock and take 50 cents out of the move, it's $500 a day. That is a good living. And I'm not seeing anything of particular interest, so we're going to go to continuation, and then I'm going to go into candlesticks. And the candlesticks are something new that I've added. CI, really nice. I'm sure they're going to be coming up on earnings. I would definitely play that breakout to the upside, at least for a day trade. I don't know that I would buy calls on it. If you do, you've got to be in and out. The liquidity may not be good enough to do that if it's a dime wide. WSM, you can see they announced earnings back here, okay? Not great liquidity, but you've got plenty of time to be in the trade. And that's a great breakout with a buy signal today. So I do like Williams-Sonoma. I like retailers in general. I like restaurant. It's just a matter of finding the liquidity. DPS, Dr. Pepper. Um, you know, this train has kind of left the station in here, but man, what a nice entry point right there. I don't really see anything in here that gets me overly excited, so I'm just going to keep going down. I think we've been able to highlight a few trades already. These are the usual suspects we've seen already. And I'm just going to take a look and see if anything else. Aha. Whole Foods. I've been trading this one. You can mark this down and you can buy calls on this. Probably will have earnings in about 2 to 3 weeks. There was an upgrade today. Analyst said he's looking for 60 bucks on it. That's a nice breakout. $52 is your stop. If the stock comes back below $52, you're out. Decent volume today. Nice little uptrend. Held up really well during the market decline. This is a nice chart. Equifax, nice little breakout right there. No liquidity though, unfortunately. CRUS has had good liquidity. Stock just pops higher. We've got Apple coming up on earnings, and I know they are a supplier for Apple. I do like this breakout, but I like this more for a day trade than I do buying call options on it just because of the liquidity. But you can mark this one down too. And going to go into the candlesticks. I'm not seeing anything that really that I haven't seen before in here. I'm just looking for good liquidity. Mosaic Fertilizer Company. Let's zoom out. This thing has been beaten down over the past 2 years. There on a monthly chart, you can see how badly beaten down it's been. It's starting to finally get some interest. That's a nice breakout. It's just gotten through that $48 resistance level. Huge volume. Okay, so there's something's going on with this. You have to check that out and find out what's going on with it. The earnings should be coming up in another week or so. A little overextended for me. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. There could be some news that really justifies the price, but this move from 46 $2 move, it doesn't make $2 moves very often, so it could get exhausted pretty quickly. But this volume here intrigues me. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the candlesticks. These are new searches. These are only available to 3,000 symbol subscribers. These will be very, very useful for day trading, and I will be asking you for input. A lot of times the candlestick formation is not bullish or bearish when it occurs. It's the price action afterwards that determines if it's bullish or bearish. I do see I've got a question on a blue arrow. Blue arrow means we stopped out of the trade. So the system does have built-in stops. We got short here, we stopped out here. We got short here, we stopped out here. And that would be going long. Sometimes you're going to see us go right from red arrow to green arrow, like right here. We were short there, we covered the short here, and we went long. So that's a pivot when there's no blue arrow between. Always on earnings announcements, we are out. I do not want to trade earnings. I don't want the risk. When you see a disparity between our performance and the performance for the underlying stock, oftentimes it's because we missed a big earnings move. So it's okay though, because there are times when, maybe there was a bullish signal going into an earnings announcement and the stock fell 20%. We also didn't participate in that. So I'm okay. I'm not trading the actual earnings announcement. So I'm just going to go through and take a look at some of the candlestick formations. So in this case, Doji is the open is very close to the close. And you get this long bodied candle with a little body in here. And when it gapped higher, that was a bullish Doji. So I'm going to be looking for input for those of you who have the 3000 symbol subscription, and we're going to nail down what exactly we want after that Doji, and we'll run some intraday scans to get us to where maybe we have 10 or 15 really, really good candidates, and those could be candidates with option liquidity. It could be stocks that are gapping higher above that prior day's close. So things of that nature. I know that as I get more comments, I'll know how to really fine tune what you're looking for. There's another Doji. You get your stock moving higher, plus you get your buy signal. Beautiful. And that's just a classic example of what you'll be seeing. And this is right, at the top of the list, so it's not going to take you long to find these. So those are Dojis. I'm going to take a look at some of the ones that we know are bullish just to see what's come up. And because the criteria are so tight, you're not oftentimes going to see a lot of candidates in here, but when you do, it'll be significant. So now I'm just going to go through and take a look here. This is a bullish hammer. And we'll see what we've got here, see if there are any interesting charts there. So that looks pretty good right in there. You've got your hammer, you got your follow through. So this will be more defined probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks or so. And we'll just keep taking a look. The one thing I do want to mention about we'll go back to the hammer, is you want to sort this so that you've got your biggest gainers coming up toward the top so you can see right away where the strength or weakness is. I probably should see if I can find a few bearish trades, at least one bearish trade for you. Let me see what I can find. Just going to go down through the list here. Looking for some liquidity. USO, boy, have we been right on that short right there. That's been a nice trade, but I don't think I'd be shorting it right now. I'd be more interested in something that's breaking through horizontal support right now, and I'm not seeing it right off the bat. Anything in energy, that was a nice entry. Anything in energy is probably overextended to the downside. And yes, I would be buying those stocks. Here's potash. See what that's doing, similar to Mosaic. So there's some pretty bullish sentiment right now in these stocks, the fertilizer stocks. I'm going to go into continuation. I'm just looking for one bearish trade. All right. Fifth Third Bank. The banks have been announcing and they've had relatively weak earnings. You can see the breakdown there below 1775. Follow through, heavy volume. That would be a decent short. And there's your stop right there. Again, I'm pretty bullish right now. So I think we're going to get this earnings bounce. So I'm not really looking for shorts at this time. That's pretty nice. It's continuing to drift lower. CNW, not good option liquidity. That's a nice breakdown, but again, not good option liquidity. So, but that would be a great short right there. You get your signal here, you get a breakdown through horizontal support right there. That's pretty easy pickings. These are continuations. Let me go into reversals very quickly, and then I'm going to start. If you'd like, why don't I have you start typing in some symbol requests, because then we'll take a look at those stocks. And I'm going to see if I can find a good bearish trade in here. Toronto Dominion. Actually, Canada lowered interest rates today. That is just a gorgeous short right there, and that is a great breakdown right there. Man, is that a nice trade. I think that Fifth Third Bank might be as good as I find. I'm going to go into the movers very quickly and see if I can find a 5-day low with some volume in here. And I'm not seeing anything that would have good option liquidity. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through my systems here and I could take a look at the S&P. These are all the stocks in the S&P 500, and I have them broken into 10 different groups. So the first group would be all the letter A, and you can see all the new positions today. And you can see also that they did pretty well today. We had all longs except for AbbVie, that was a short. You can also see the current positions that we're in for all of the A's in the S&P 500. And you'll notice that they've all done well. Amazon did not do well. We were short that, and the stock gapped up 8 points today, so kind of a wild mover. We took some nice profits, so I'm going to go through a couple of these symbol groups here and just show you. You can glance down and kind of see what we're in and what the profits have been and how the system has performed over a broader range of symbols. Took some really nice profits in there. We've got a mix of longs and shorts, and all of them are actually doing pretty dang well. So you can make money on long positions and short positions at the same time. A lot of green in here, lots of longs, lots of shorts. For any of you who might be investors, you're always taught to look for the fundamentals and buy solid stocks that are trending. I would argue almost the opposite, to embrace volatility and to find stocks that are volatile with lots of uncertainty, like the 3D printers, solar stocks, Tesla, things of that nature. You put a portfolio together of 10 or 15 symbols, and then you have the system auto trade them. You're going to be long and you're going to be short. And the longs should make money and the shorts should make money. And when you turn on the screen in the morning and you see the S&Ps are down 20 points, you go, so what? My shorts should do great today, and my longs should hold up relatively well. You turn on the screen the next day and the S&Ps are up 30 points, you go, oh, awesome. My short should be okay, my long should be okay. Should be able to make money on both sides. And if you look at the net result at the end of the year, you'll have less market risk and you'll always have a natural hedge on. If the market really falls apart, then obviously you're going to start seeing the system get very, very short. You make a lot of money. Most everybody else will be losing money. And if we do go into a bear market, the last thing you want to do is to be in cash, because you're going to lose money. You're not even going to keep up with the inflation rate. You don't want to buy gold. That's an asset. It will go down in value just like it did in 2008 and 2009. Obviously, you don't want to be in equities if they're all heading lower. The best thing you can possibly do is to learn how to short before the big hurt comes. And I'm not predicting a market decline right now. I'll let the system tell me when the market's rolling over and declining. It'll tell me exactly when to get short, when to get long. I won't even have to think twice about it. But we all know that this is a house of cards that's being built, and sooner or later we will go into a bear market. And when we do, It could last a year, 2 years, 3 years. We don't know. The economy is not picking up. Central banks have thrown everything they have at the problem. Our economy seems to be doing pretty well. Everybody else is faltering. Even China is starting to slip. So um, think about using this system from an investment standpoint. Be long stocks, be short stocks. So you can go through and take a look at all the different entries and exits for all the symbols in the S&P, and you can see that the blue represent exits, the gold at the top represent new entries, and everything in between is an overnight position. So let's take a look at what you've got for me here. Don't want you to think that I'm cherry picking all these stocks. CMI is one that I have kept an eye on, and we haven't done particularly well on that. Been really kind of chopping around. Currently was on a buy signal, but it stopped out instantly, and it's still trying to figure out what it wants to do. CME, we just had a buy on it, and we were stopped out on that, so really nothing going on too much there. GSK, Glaxo, we're on a buy, shorted, and stopped out early today. So it wants to be short, but it's not going to take a short position, and now the stock is rallying in here. Done pretty well on Glaxo. Letter Z is one of my favorites. This is Zillow. System's done just unbelievably on this, and I particularly like this to sell premium. Here's another trade for you folks. I highlighted this in my last webinar, and the trade worked out really well. We are going to look at selling a put spread. I don't know when they announce earnings. That's the only missing piece of the puzzle here. And let me take a look here. They announced on the 6th, so we should have about 2 weeks left before they announce. So I'm going to like selling an out of the money put credit spread here. This will be another trade that we'll do. We're going out into February, and we're looking to sell the 95 puts, and we'll go a little bit further out if we can, 95.90. So on the 95s, you've got 580, very wide bid-ask spread, so we could probably try for $6 there. And we've got at least $4 there, so you can get at minimum $2 for this spread, a $2 credit. Probably can get somewhere in the neighborhood of 210, maybe even a little bit better. But as the stock moves up, this spread will tighten. You could even distance yourself from the action a little bit more by going further out of the money. And so I am going to take a look at something like the 92 puts. And those are currently 450. And we'll take a look at the 88s. Those are 340. So on that, you can get probably $1.30 on that spread and give yourself a little bit more cushion. That was the 92 puts, selling those, buying the 88s. And let's take another look at the chart. You can see it's right on horizontal support here. We get a buy signal today. You've got a very tight stop on that. This low of 93.74, excuse me, 93.50, let's call it, that's your stop. And we're still $1 out of the money before that stop gets hit. I'd check to make sure that earnings are not going to be announced in the next day or two. But if you've got a week or so, the system's done really well picking longs and shorts on this stock. I mean, look at that. Look at that short. Look at that long. I mean, we took profits on that. It was a beautiful trade. Look at that long was nice. We got short in there. That worked out. I like this trade. So, Brent, thank you for asking about Zillow. HON, Honeywell. Honeywell currently on a buy right here. ACT. That's a nice breakout right there. And it's on a buy right there. I like the little volume spike in here. That looks really good. I like it. Fair option liquidity. Tesla. Tesla, we're starting to crank on this stock. Boy, we got caught a little bit earlier here, and this performance is not even representative of what we've done on Tesla because we had a short right there, and if we'd have had our stop rule in as we do now, we would have been out right there. But we weren't. We took a major hit there. Then we get short up in here. We get long. That was a nice long. Get short here. And then the announcement for the new plant in Nevada comes out, and the stock runs up about $40. Oof, that hurt. Well, the system went long right up here. And then a few days later, Elon Musk came out and said, yeah, I think my stock's overvalued. Good night. And so, but since then, now we have our stop rule in, we've got our new entry rule in. Since then, it's been really picking these entry and exit points beautifully, and our performance has come way up. So Tesla, I like this long right here. In fact, again, earnings here, probably 2 weeks away. Here's another trade for you. I like selling a put spread below that one. Let's go right 185. Let's mark support right there. I'm going to put up a 200-day. We're way below it. 100-day, way below it. So let's take a look at that. We're going to sell the 185 put. We're going to buy the 180, and we're going to do it in February, normal expiration. And we'll scroll up here. So we got 650 and we have 515. So just off the screen here, you could probably get $1.40 easily for that put spread. So let's say that we sell that, we buy that for 510, we sell that for 650. That's $1.40 right there. You could probably get even $1.45, $1.50. These options are liquid. So work that bid-ask spread. There's another really nice trade for you. And again, the system's just really nailing these entry and exit points right now. SLXP. Boy, this stock came in and just got smashed down in here. And I know this is an excellent one because I know I saw a buy signal in here and I went, God, I just don't know. I don't like trading these biotechs too much because I don't know a whole lot about them. But that would have been an excellent entry point. You'll see everything populate here. As soon as I start running the recording software, the whole system slows down. So we're just waiting for everything to load. So yeah, the system's done very well. And it's for the most part been long in here, and you can see a long buy signal coming in today. Ideally, you'd love to see it get through that. It filled in that gap yesterday, but you'd like to see it get up through there, and then I think you could feel pretty good about being long it. Okay. Celgene. I will say that the system, I hate to have any knocks on it, but the system's not done well with biotech stocks. For some reason, I don't think they're just too dang choppy. They're up big one day and then they're reversed the next day. Right now, Celgene is on a buy. I do like that breakout right there, and hopefully it continues to move higher. You can see Celgene, we've not done that well on it. Dave, thank you. Earnings for Zillow on 2/11. So yeah, we've got about 2 weeks until that earnings announcement. So I'm going to close with just going through some of the different systems and showing you some of the different trades that we're currently in. I'm going to go into the stock trades, and I'm just going to click through here, and you can see if you sign up for 3,000 symbols, obviously you have all of these because you've got access to every symbol group. We've already looked at Tesla. We're in a long position there. Under Armour, short. So far it's been good, but might be getting stopped out on that. LinkedIn, short. We'll be getting stopped out probably tomorrow. And we exited that Tesla short today and we got long. So there's a pivot I had mentioned earlier. We went from being short to closing out that short and actually going long. So these are the high flyer symbols, high IV. These are excellent stocks for selling premium. Here you can see you've got a buy signal on triple D and nice support there. I think that would be an excellent put credit spread candidate. Buy signal today on SCTY. System's done really well on that stock. Use that horizontal support level. Sell your credit spread. Put credit spread. If that support is breached, you're out. I mean, it's really not too tough. Right now on Yelp, we're on a short right here. That's a nice support level. We'll see if we flip to a bullish signal. If so, that would be a nice put credit spread. Pandora, good short. And Twitter hasn't really done a whole lot recently, but we've done okay on that stock. Take a look at the high tech. GoPro, man, we started out really strong, and here's another classic example of where the stops will start helping us. We got long right there, and we should have been stopped out right here. Instead, the system goes short there, should have been stopped there. So that makes a huge difference in this stock. What I will say is that I know that we're going to start nailing GoPro. Beautiful entry there. Great exit there. Beautiful entry, great exit. And now the last few signals have been excellent. That was a fantastic short at 76. Gilead, VMware. I do want to point out one other thing with the system. Our performance is relatively good for Apple, although we're not performing up to buy and hold, but I know Apple's had some huge earnings gaps like that we didn't participate in. But apart from that, this is a beautiful entry point. You get such an awesome rally on it, and then the stock starts to sell off, and it has a big down day. Well, throughout the course of this down day, if you just used a little bit of profit management, you would have locked in huge profits on this trade. And I know you can easily beat our performance on all of these stocks with a little position management. I didn't want to complicate the system by adding in a whole new layer of rule bases for profit taking. The system's going to get you into a really good position. It's going to get you in at a good entry point. I got to leave the profit taking up to you, but there'll be lots of opportunities to do much, much better than what we'll show. So I'm going to conclude tonight's presentation by going back to the yearly subscription. This is my deal of the year. I don't offer my subscriptions at this price any other time throughout the course of the year. There'll be probably some discounts here and there, but they won't be this low. So if you sign up before Sunday, and by the way, I will be around tonight. So if you want to ask any questions about what's included or how it works, I didn't mention one thing. I'm glad that I thought of this. You can go in and create your own symbol lists. So you go in and figure out what those 10 or 15 stocks are that you really, really like to follow, and simply look at which stocks have been the best performers and have good option liquidity, whatever fits your parameters, pick them, name the list, and then when you go to the drop down, you'll see it listed like this Dow here or Fave. When I go into the brokerage API, for those of you who have interactive brokers, you'll see it listed there, so you can actually go in and auto trade it. You want to trade the stock? No problem. You want to trade on a dollar allocation basis so that every trade's the same? No problem. You want to auto enter and auto exit? Great. Want to submit the orders without a prompt? This could be absolutely seamless. It takes you 2 hours to log in every morning, and that includes the interface with interactive brokers. And you'll be prompted when you log in. Do you want to enable trading systems? Yes. Psh, done. Less than 2 minutes, it's all automated. You can also trade the options. So you pick the expiration month. Maybe you want to go 3+ months out. In the money, at the money, out of the money. If it's going long, it's going to know to buy calls. If it's going short, it knows to buy puts. So everything can be automated. And the nice thing is that if you do mark auto exit and you manually entered the trade, meaning you didn't auto enter it, it'll get you out of the position using that auto exit. So very nice feature. And the power to create your own list is only available in that 3,000 symbol subscription. I am looking at adding a chat for 3,000 symbol subscribers. I consider you to be the high end. I know most of you put a lot of time and effort into your research. I think it'd be very useful for you to compare notes with other traders. You might have particular symbols that are working well, or particular approaches. This could be a very tight-knit community. I mentioned that I'm going to be offering the alerts before the open, but they aren't going to show up in the charts. So this is just going to be a temporary one-day flash of, hey, the system would be going long this stock. There may be a day trading opportunity for you. And I know that a lot of you really benefited from having that information a couple of hours before the open. It'd be great for day trading. I've got lots of other things planned for the rest of the year as well. So sign up for the 3,000 symbol subscription. Anything that I do throughout the course of the year will be included as well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the videos. You're going to get a trade video every week that's about 15 or 20 minutes long. I just go in, and in that time span, I find the trades, I execute the trades. They're real trades, and you can follow those as well if you'd like. So this subscription price will go up after Sunday, and I hope to have you on board, and I will be available tonight to answer any questions that you might have. Just click live help and launch the chat. Thank you so much for attending. For those of you watching the recording, please go back and see how these trades have fared. Thank you.